Shema. Right? We are the sanctified seed of Jeshurun, set apart offspring of the Most High, chosen peculiar treasure in the earth, hoping, seeking, and praying to keep His laws, statutes, and commandments, faith in the Mashiach Yeshua, and walking the fruits of the Kodash Ruach power. Right? Pray y'all bless. Pray y'all got your minds on enduring even to the end. Pray you're watching and praying. I pray you're surrendering your soul, you're laying your burdens before the Most High, and letting Him help you make it through these times, these traumatic times, right? And that we may, reach a kingdom, right? That we have not yet returned to, right? Back down in the wilderness, glory to the Most High. And as so, right, we're doing a lesson, right, on the wilderness, and we're going to revisit. One of the first videos I did, glory to the Most High, had so much conviction on my heart. I wanted to make sure, I did this video when I first started the page, and now I got to revisit it. It's plenty timely, overdue to revisit this, and I've learned so much more since that video. It's like over 6 years ago. So, Lord to the Most High, we're gonna break some things down, make it clear for y'all that are coming out of Babylon, y'all that are trying to get to the wilderness from wherever you're at in the four corners of the earth, by the Spirit of the Most High that is alluring you there, right? You're not gonna be confused, you're not gonna be beguiled, you're not gonna be deceived, right? The scripture saying last days, that the many, even of the elect, right, are in danger of being deceived. So we're going to get into a lot of information today. We're going to break some things down. We're going to get some definitions in the Hebrew of what certain words mean, and we're going to make it clear without a shadow of a doubt, where the wilderness is, right? Most I don't go over anything that's already spoken on, but when I did the video, where's Mount Sinai, I gave you a lot of understanding of what of where the mountain is and why we are here where we're at today. But there's still more that I could go into that I could have went into that I didn't. So I'm gonna go into that now. Just like I did a little bit more on the roof situation, I'm gonna go into a little more now and make it crystal for y'all, right? So pray y'all ready, take your notes, get your pen and pad ready. We're gonna go over a lot of stuff today, right? All right, so we're gonna start off first, right? First Timothy, right? Chapter 5. Hold on. Is it 2 Timothy chapter 2, right? And verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto a higher. Our study should be to make sure that he knows that we're being diligent and we love him and we want his word, right? A workman that needeth not to be ashamed. A workman does work. You can't put a damper on how far you're going to study, how far you're going to look for the truth. You got to be a workman with it, right? That needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. There is a right way to divide this truth, precept upon precept, line upon line, and there's a wrong way to divide it. Right? Most High made everything right, 2 and 2, one over against the other. So we want to make sure we rightly divide this word of truth, right? We're gonna establish some things, right? First thing we're gonna establish, right? We're going to establish some things. We're going to get Deuteronomy. Mind you, the word Deuteronomy means to repeat, right? Deuteronomy repeats everything that was spoken where? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, right? Gives you an overview, gives you an understanding, of what the things that were happening, all in Deuteronomy. That's what it means. Allah Dabarim, right? I'll go over some things, right? I'll praise the Most Mighty, right? Deuteronomy, right? And it's starting to cool off, y'all. Glory to the Most High. Let's get this. Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 1. All right. All the commandments which I command thee this day shall ye observe to do. That's what Messiah said in Matthew 23 and 1, right? That ye may live and multiply and go in and possess the land which the Most High swore unto your fathers. So at this point, we hadn't went into the land. It wasn't in our possession, but he was giving us instructions on how we ought to operate, right? And the heritage that came down from heaven, from the Most High, when we get in the land, right? Verse 2, and thou shalt remember all the way which the Most High thy power led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, right? We're going to be referencing this. 40 years in the wilderness to what? To humble thee and to prove thee. You got to try you. Make sure he can trust you. To know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or not, right? So Oh, bless your name, Ahia. This is I can't wait to get into this, y'all, with y'all, right? Let's let's first go to Deuteronomy 2, right? Let's bring something out right quick. Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 14. It says, "And the space in which we came from Kadesh Barnea," we're gonna focus on that, "until we were come over the brook Zered." I'm gonna get a map and I'm gonna show y'all what that is. Was 38 years. So 38 of the 40 years that we were in the wilderness, we were between the brook Zered, which is the southern border of Moab and Edom, and the Red Sea. And we're going to show you that. That's that 38-year region they were in from Zered to the Red Sea. Mind you, there's still 2 more years, which tells you the wilderness still goes above that brook Zered, and we'll show you how far it goes up to, so you know where the wilderness is, right? Again, read it one more time. Deuteronomy 2 and 14. "And the space in which we came from Kadesh Barnea until we were come over the brook Zered was 38 years, until all the generation of men of war were wasted from among the hosts, as the Most High swore unto them." Why? Because they gave that evil report when they went up and turned against the Most High, wanted to elect a leader over themselves and go back to Egypt. All right? Now, let's establish some things right now. We read Deuteronomy 8:1 to show that we weren't in the land. Right? We was in the wilderness the whole 40 years. The wilderness is not in Israel. That's the number one thing we're going to establish. The wilderness is not in Israel. The wilderness is not in Egypt. That's the number 2 thing we're going to establish. Now let's read that out the scripture. This is Deuteronomy chapter 12 and verse 9. "For ye are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which the Most High your Father giveth you. But when ye go over Jordan and dwell in the land which the Most High your power giveth you to inherit, and when he giveth you rest from all your enemies round about, so that ye dwell in safety, then there shall be a place where the Most High your power shall choose to cause his name to dwell there." So what you're reading is, in Deuteronomy, where he's repeating everything that happened, he's saying, you haven't came into the land yet. Where you're gonna have rest from your enemies, where you're gonna dwell safely, where you're gonna have to be able to be, where you're gonna be able to be blessed to dwell as an inherited land. He had promised to your forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You haven't came there yet, right? Now, the only time our forefathers went in there is when he sent the 12 spies up in the book of Numbers to spy out the land. There's the nation, as a whole nation, as a whole tribe, never went in there. We were in the wilderness 40 years. Now, let's show that wilderness that was in 40 years, we just read to you, it's not in Israel, right? Because he said you ain't went into the land yet. And let's show that it's not in Egypt as well. Okay, this is Deuteronomy chapter 6, right? And verse 12. "Then beware lest thou forget the Most High, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage." So if we are delivered and brought out of the house of bondage, we weren't still in Egypt, quote unquote, the house of bondage during the wilderness time. We're not in that country no more. All right. So where were we at? We were in the wilderness. Where is the wilderness? Right? What is the wilderness? Y'all know what it is. It's Kadesh Barnea. 38 years we just read was in Kadesh Barnea. And let's read one more scripture. After that, we're going to dial back a little bit and break a few things down definition wise, right? And one of them is the reason why I wanted to wait to come back up here to do the lesson. I'm going to show you guys something. Right? So this is Second Esdras, right? Second Esdras chapter 9 and verse 29. "O Ahia, thou that showest thyself unto us, thou wast showed unto our fathers in the wilderness, in a place where no man treadeth, in a barren place, when they came out of Egypt." So again, the wilderness is wherever our forefathers was when they came out of Egypt. Not got away from Pharaoh and the army, but out of Egypt, out of their country, out of their land, out of the bondage, the house of bondage. Do y'all understand? So the wilderness can't be synonymous with Egypt. It can't. We already read that the wilderness is not in the land of Israel because Moses just testified. He said, you have not entered into the rest and inheritance that the Most High promised you, right? So, let's get one more, right? Y'all that watch the page, y'all already probably know. Judith, chapter 5 and verse 14 says, I'll start at 13. And the Most High dried the Red Sea before them and brought them to Mount Sinai and Kadesh Barnea and cast forth all that dwelt in the wilderness. You see that? So you're getting two precepts already that define the wilderness as Kadesh Barnea. Now we got the limitations on what the region Kadesh Barnea can encompass when it said we stayed in Kadesh Barnea 38 years of the 40-year dwelling in the wilderness, wandering in the wilderness until we crossed the brook Zered. All right, now the brook Zered, I told you, the border of the southern of Moab, southern border, and Edom's northern border. Right? So, I'll pray to name higher. Now, let's break some things down. All right. Oh, bless you, Father. I want to break some things down to y'all today. I want you to know, when it comes to the scripture names certain places according to what's there, what's in the land, or what man came there and stuck his ancient landmark in the ground and said, this is my land, and named it after himself. And the people that became of his bowels, of his loins, became bloodline descendants or indigenous to that land through that man. Let's get an example. Moab, right? Ammon. Both their countries are named after what? The two sons of Lot that were come from his two daughters, right? So that's how you know whose land it is, and that's how you get the name of it. Now let's hit another point. Matter of fact, let's get out the word first. Let's go to Numbers. Yeah, let's go to Numbers and look at this, you guys. Numbers chapter 13, right? And we'll read 21. So they went up and searched the land from the wilderness of Zin. Is this a different place? You already know 38 years they were in the wilderness. They were in Kadesh Barnea. So this is a location in Kadesh Barnea, wilderness of Zin. We're going to go into where it's at. Unto Rahab, as men come to Hamath. And they ascended by the south. They went up by the south. We went into the lesson. Did Abraham ever go south? You should know what the south is. It's the southern part of Judea or Negev, right? So they went up into the Negev mountains from the wilderness of Zin. They're not already in there. They went up there, right? Let me read it from the top. See, y'all hear what it says. It says, so they went up and searched the land. These are 12 spies from the wilderness of Zin unto Rehob as men come to Hamath. And they ascended by the south and came unto Hebron, where Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, the children of Anak, were. Now Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. Now look at the next verse. Verse 23. And they came unto the brook of Eshcol. What does Eshcol mean? Why is it called the brook of Eshcol, right? And cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes. Eshcol means cluster of grapes. That's not just my definition. That's what the scriptures say, and we can get out the Zondervan. And they bear it between two upon a staff, and they brought of the pomegranates and of the figs. Verse 24. The place was called the brook of Eshcol because of the cluster of grapes, which the children of Israel cut down from thence. We don't have to go through that again. We don't have to get that to Zondervan. That's the Bible telling you right there, clearly. So, we know that if we were to ever visit the valley of Eshcol, it's going to be some grapes there. It's going to be some clusters of grapes there. Y'all see this? That's why it's called that, because it got grapes there. Let's get another one. In fact, let's go in the Zondervan right quick, right? And we can speak on one while we go into that, right? If I call myself going to the mountain east of Jerusalem, and I hit at that mountain called the Mount of Olives, maybe it's because, right, it's olives growing on that mountain. Yes, it was known to have olive trees all over the mountain. Y'all seeing what's going on here? Let's get one more. All right, let's get one more. We want the one that talks about what I was eating all last summer and a lot this summer too, y'all. Y'all remember? Y'all remember what I was eating? So this is the rock of Ramon, right? Let's go back one. Okay, this is Ramon, right? Zondervan Bible Dictionary, Ramon. it says Ramon H8235 pomegranate. You see that? Possibly an alteration, right? An Aramean representation of Hadad, right? We're going to skip all that. And we want to jump down to place, Ramon, right? Ramon, place, pomegranate, a commonplace name that presumptively reflects the existence of pomegranate trees in the respective locations. You see that? So what I'm showing you that is that when we get to identifying where things are scripturally, not just the wilderness, which we're going to hit that, but just all places, it's either going to be the name of a man, it's going to be the name of some fruit or some vegetables that's growing on the land, or it's going to be even other stuff. Let's get another one. Let's get out the Bible, right? And I have to establish this so it can be so clear as we go through scriptures and we name these names of these cities that you're going to know where we're at, right? Let's look at this one. We want to go to Genesis 12. Look at this one. All right. This is Genesis. Genesis, no. We want to get the one. Yeah, we come back to that. Genesis. Okay. Oh, we want to get. Hold on. We want to get. Is it 2 angels? No. Okay, this one right here. This is Genesis chapter 20, right? And hold on, not this one. We want Isaac. We want the one Isaac. We want the one with Isaac. We want the one with Isaac. Here we go. Genesis chapter 24 and verse 62. And Isaac came from the way of the well Laharoh, for he dwelt in the south country. Remember, the south country is the southern part, Negev. Now, this place is called Beer Laharoh, right? Let's get that. Joshua 11. All right. Joshua 11 and verse, let's see. No, hold on. Let's get, okay, 13:1. Like y'all, I want to get these specific places so I can mark what it says. It says, let's see, 13. What we're getting now is, man, the well. That's what we're getting, right? Beer means well, right? And so we got Beer Laharoh, which is where Isaac dwelt, right? And then we want to get Beer Sheba, right? Beer Sheba is where Abraham dwelt, right? And so what does these tell you? These tell you that if I go to Sheba or if I go to Laharoh, I should see a well there. It is that simple, right? Let's get here we go. This is Genesis 21 and verse 30. It says, and he said, this is Amalek, right? The Philistine. For these 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that they may be a witness unto me that I have digged this well. You see that? Wherefore he called that place Beer Sheba, because there they swear, both of them, the well of the oath. That's what it's called. So if I'm going looking for this place, I have to see a well there because that's what's there. And that's why they named it. Y'all understand? Same thing with Laharoh. It's the well of, I think that's the well of he who seeth me, right? I think this is the well that Hagar went to, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think that's the one. But let's double check, right? Double check. And mind you, this makes it clear. So when we get to looking at this, it ain't gonna be no issue where it's like, oh man, we don't know where this is at, right? Here we go. Let's see. This is Genesis chapter 16 and verse 7. And the angel of the Most High found her, who? Hagar, by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way of Shur. You hear all that, y'all? Do you not think it's Shur's in the wilderness? We're going to show where Shur's at. I'll tell y'all, they don't want you to know where the wilderness is because they don't want you to know where the mountain is because they don't want you to know that that's where you got to go. That's what the Most High is alluring you to. This is why they tell you that the mountain is in Egyptian Sinai, which is still in Egypt. How we come out the land, but we still in the land. A house of bondage set apart unto the Most High. Nah, it's not. That's not true. And they tell you it's in Saudi Arabia. Nah, we're gonna read it, right? This is Genesis 16:7. And the angel of the Most High found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way of Shur. Right? Now let's drop down to verse 13. And she called the name of the Most High that spake unto her, Thou power seeth me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me? Verse 14. Wherefore the well was called Beer Laharo. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And we're going to deal with that too. So this is telling you that this is the well of him that liveth and seeth me. You see that? So it should only make common sense that Mount Sinai, right, has a meaning of something that you can see or identify with that's being titled Sinai, right? That only makes sense. So let's get Sinai, right? Let's get that because Sinai is in the wilderness. It better be, right? Let's get it. All right, let's get Exodus. To show when we came up to this mountain. All right, this is Exodus. I want to get 19. Okay, here we go. Exodus 19 and verse 1. In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone out of the land of Egypt, they're all the way out of the land of Egypt. The Sinai Peninsula is the land of Egypt. Then and today, if you in Sinai, if you in Egypt, you not in the wilderness. All right. Is it possible that you're in a barren land? Yes. Is it possible you're in a desert? Yeah. But are you in the wilderness? No, you're not. Not the wilderness that the Most High said he's going to lure us to, right? Exodus 19:1. The 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, they came. The same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai, another location in the greater Kadesh Barnea that we were there for 38 years. This is the wilderness. This is the desert of Sinai. That's what it's telling you. Because the wilderness is what? A barren land which no man treaded when we came out of Egypt, right? For they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert of Sinai. You see that? See how it defines itself? And had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount. Before what mount? Mount Sinai. Ooh. So let's look up what Sinai means. All right, let's look in the Zondervan and let's see. And I'm gonna show y'all how you can't deal with Blue Letter. You can't deal with Zondervan with everything because they're gonna hide or divert or try to conceal the definitions of these things so you won't know. Look at this. I'm gonna show y'all. Look at Sinai. I'm gonna show you Sinai, and I'm gonna tell you what it says. All right, this is the Zondervan. All right, here we go. All right, Sinai. All right, look at this. Mount Sinai. This is what it says. Mount Sinai, Hebrew H6009, perhaps from Akkad, Sin, name of the moon deity. See that? They don't want to tell you straight up. But then let's see what else says. Greek, Sinai or Sana. The mountain is also called Horeb. So it says he wants to divert you from Sinai. And just remember, but it's called Mount Horeb too. And look what it does when it says Horeb. Horeb, H2998, dry and desolate. It gives you a clear definition of what Horeb means. Why doesn't it want to tell you what the definition of it is of Sinai though? Right? I'm going to read one thing to you, and then I'm going to tell you what Sinai means, right? It says that this mountain is in 4 disputed regions. I'm going to read you the 4th one. They waited to the 4th option to tell you something that's close to what the real location is. The first 3, they throw you off. The 4th one, listen what they say. All right, this is the 4th definition. It says Mount Seir on the edge of the Arabah. The identification of Mount Sinai depends primarily on the route of the Exodus a hotly disputed problem. Yes, it is, but not after today. Not after today, mind you. Why is it talking about Mount Seir, when it's talking about the definition of Sinai? Y'all know the lesson. Why I said where is Mount Sinai? It's in the Seir mountain range. I already told y'all that. They waited to the fourth definition to give you that. Now, we're going to break this down so the Exodus route is corrected so you can know where the wilderness is today, right? Now, Sinai means thorny, right? Man, you every name is titled something for a reason. Now let's look into Josephus, right? And let's see if we see anything, anything that's going to help us understand, right? Why this is called that, right? Listen to this, y'all. Listen to this. All praise to the Most Mighty, right? Okay, we're going to get Moses. Let's see. Here we go. This is Antiquity. This is Josephus, right? Antiquity of the Jews. Book 2, chapter 12, verse 1. Now Moses, when he had obtained the favor of Jethro, for that was one of the names of Raguel, stayed there and fed his flock, right? Remember? Exodus 3, fed the flock of Jethro, right? But sometime afterward, taking his station at the mountain called Sinai, he drove his flocks thither to feed them. Now this is the highest of all the mountains thereabout. I don't know about that, right? I'm here. Mountains over there. I don't think it's the highest one, right? We can't take everything, but we can take and see what doesn't contradict the Bible, right? It says, now this is the highest of all the mountains thereabout, and the best for pasturing, for feeding the flocks. I done been over there, been fed my flock. It's a gang of grass over there. It's a gang. That grass grows up here like this high, stupid high, right? This is what it says about it. Now, this is the highest of all the mountains thereabout, and the best for pasturage, the herbage being there good, and it had not been before fed upon because of the opinion men had that a higher dwelt there, the shepherds not daring to ascend up to it. I remember when I went over to it the first time, and that grass was so high, I said, and it was super green, it wasn't withered, it wasn't weedy looking, right? Now look what else it says. And here it was that a wonderful prodigy happened to Moses, for a fire fed upon a thorn bush. You see that? Why did I have to go to Josephus to get some type of proof, some type of backing that Sinai means thorny? It said that the fire, that burning bush, it was actually a thorn bush, right? And what? Yet did the green leaves and the flowers continue untouched, and the fire did not at all consume the fruit branches. So, right, what we should know when it comes to Mount Sinai, one thing we should know is that you're going to see thorn bushes everywhere. You're going to see plants with thorns. I'm going to take you outside right quick since I'm there and show you right quick. Thorn bush I ain't never seen in my life. And it's like 4 of them out here, in addition to the cactus tree that's thorny. In addition to that, I done ate cactus fruits that are thorny, where you got to be careful when you eat them, boys. It's thorny stuff all over out here. If you got sandals on, you better be careful, because you're going to be stepping on something you ain't going to know. It's going to stick your foot, and you're going to be like, oh, man. Right? So I'm going to just show you one of the little things. If I walked you out anywhere to the, the mountains, I can show you them easy. But I'm just going to take you one right quick, right on the side of my house. Dirt and stuff blowing up on it. And, crazy looking thorn, man. Look at this junk. All right? Look at this junk. This right here. Y'all see this? Oh, dang. It's looking super sharp, too. Y'all see that? Y'all see this? This is what they got out here. These buzzers are stupid sharp. Right? This one just grew out the ground. It's still, I didn't put that there, all right? Don't y'all know? This is what you got out here. Right? Because what? Sinai is thorny. That's what it means, thorny. If I took you on the mountains here, it's easy. I'll show you at least 3 more that I ain't seen in my life. Now, mind you, I live in LA, I live in the city, so it don't make no sense for me to know what all the thorn bushes look like. But just to be, real with it, I'm just showing you there's thorns out here and all the type of plants, right? So that's just one thing I wanted to show y'all. I wanted to make sure I did show y'all that because the land has a definition, and if that land has a definition, then we should be seeing that which is there that is named after, right? Now, the second thing I want to go over, which I feel like this is one of the biggest issues with the Exodus highly disputed route, because either the deception of the scholars to keep you from knowing, or people just not studying to show themselves approved. Look at this, you guys. Let's get in the Bible, right? Mind you, right? Mind you, we're going to, this is what we're going to go to. We're going to go to Saul, right? And we're going to read something that he did. And you're going to have to ask yourself some questions, right? What did Samuel commission Saul to go do? Go kill them Amalekites, right? Let's read something. This is 1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 6. And Saul said unto the Kenites, Go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them, for ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. Who are the Kenites, by the way? These are the kindred of Jethro, or Raguel, right? They say, watch out, man. We don't want to smack you guys up because you sold grace and mercy to them. Now, this guy, ask yourself right off the top, why are the Kenites close to the Amalekites and they are familiar with us, but they're not living in the wilderness? You got to ask yourself, that must mean the Amalekites live in the wilderness if the Kenites dwell with them, and we are familiar with the Kenites because we came and lived amongst them and they were kind to us. You seeing this? We're going to tie even more together. But that's the first question you should ask yourself, right? And some of the Kenites came up with us out of the land. Raguel didn't come. Let me hit that right quick. All right, this is Judges chapter 1 and verse 16. And the children of the Kenite, Moses' father-in-law, that's Jethro, went up out of the city of palm trees with the children of Judah, that's Elam, into the wilderness of Judah, which lieth in the south of Arad, and they went and dwelt among the people. You see that? So he's telling them, y'all get out the way, right? We don't want to touch on you because we finna mop these Amalekites up. Now let's see what it says. 1 Samuel chapter 15 verse 7. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to shore, that is over against Egypt. So you got to understand what it means. This is over against. It's telling you on the side of Egypt, because it's not in Egypt. When he went to fight them, he fought them where? He smote them from Havilah until thou comest to Shur. Right? The same place what? That Hagar resided. Now, I'm going to get you guys a map right quick so I can show y'all. I want y'all to see where this is at. I'm going to do my best. To try to show y'all where they're at when they're in these places. All right? I'm going to do my best, you guys. Because I don't have the computer like all the other brothers do. But I got the wisdom, glory to the Most High. And I'm going to show you where. Now, I went through this book to just get some maps so I can try to show y'all the best I can, with these maps. Where, and I think this is the one I want right here. I'm going to show you the best one. No. It's a better one. I think the map I got for Edom. That's the best one that I'm going to use today. Let's see. Right, and we're going to go over something. Got to be a workman in this truth, right? Edom. You want the one for Edom. Here we go. Okay. This is pretty good. We'll deal with this one. All right? Now, I'm showing you guys. This is Zondervan. Right? I'm showing you guys. I pray y'all seeing this. I don't know if y'all seeing it. I hope y'all seeing it. Right? Now, as you see, they have Shur here. Why do they have Shur here? Because they want to remove all these places, Kadesh, Desert of Zin, Paran, Sinai, and the mountain over here, so you won't know where it's at. So they put everything, and this is the key. This Red Sea goes up both ways. On this side, it's called the Gulf of Suez. On this side, it's called the Red Sea or the Reed Sea. All right. This is where we cross. But they want to make you think we crossed over here so they can say Mount Sinai is right there. This is Egypt, you guys. This is the Egyptian peninsula. You're not inside, you're not outside of the house of bondage if you're still in this region right here. They had to get out of Egypt, cross over here. Okay, Shur, which is right here, which is also Etham, that's right here. What is this region? Let me explain to y'all right quick. This is the Dead Sea right here. Okay, this is the Red Sea right here. This is the Red Sea. This strip right here is a valley, but it's a desert valley. Right here is the Negev. This wrinkle right here, and I'm gonna go to another map. This wrinkle is the Negev or the South Mountains. This wrinkle all right here, that is the Seir Mountains. That's where Mount Sinai is, in the Seir Mountains. The valley between these two mountains, that's the wilderness of Paran. That's what it is. Now you see this right here, Desert of Paran. If you go on your maps right now and you go in this region and you type in Paran, it's going to show Paran right on the line that separates modern Israel from modern Jordan over here. It's going to be right on the line right here between the Negev and between Mount Seir Mountains. All right. I was going to show you. All right. Now, they got Midian moved up. They got Midian. This is kind of close to where it's at. Right. This is where Moses at when he Jethro on them. Right here. So if Saul smote the Amalekites from Shur, which is that saying over here, no, Shur's over here. This is where Beersheba's like right here. Shur is where Hagar came here in this region right here. This is where we lived the first time when we came down. This is the Wadi Araba. This whole thing is called Wadi Araba right here in Arabic. But in Hebrew, it's the wilderness of Paran, wilderness of Sinai, wilderness of Zin, wilderness of Sin. All of that is all different locations all in here. But the whole thing from this river, Red Sea, all the way up to here, Madaba, is the wilderness. All of that. And we're going to show it. There's no problem. Now, Midian being right here, Shur being right here, Edom right here, right? Havilah is down here, you guys. We're going to go over that right quick. But I'm just showing you, before I explain to you, I'm just showing you where everything is. This Desert Zin, Kadesh Barnea, for it to be right there, that means it's already in Israel, you guys. Either it's in Israel or it's in Egypt. It can't be in both, and that's why I went over that the first time. There's no way in the world Kadesh Barnea is right there. And we're going to show you again that Kadesh Barnea is over here. It's over here. We're going to show that too, right? So you seeing, I'm breaking all that down to you. Elam, that's over here, you guys. That's Elath. 70 palm trees, that's right here. They got it over here. They put everything that's over here, you guys. Because they don't want you to know what's over here. This is the region. Now, let's bring out let's bring out about Havilah right quick, right? Mind you guys, I'm going to tell you this as well. No, let's just read it first. Let's just read it. Listen to this, you guys. This Deuteronomy. Bless your name, High. Deuteronomy. It's like Deuteronomy chapter 10. What does it say? Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 6. And the sons of Ham. We went over the lesson. Ham got what? The southern part of the earth. Right? So Ham and all his sons were supposed to dwell in the southern part of the earth. Sidon, Tyre, Philistines who came from the Caphatorim, and the Canaanites forsook the land of Ham, what they're supposed to do, and all dwelt in Palestine or Jerusalem, which they named after their respective names. Philistines, Tyre, Zidon, and Canaan. Right? And all his sons. They dwelt in that. But everyone else, they stand in their land. Right? Now, Genesis 10 and verse 6. The sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan. This is Ethiopia, Egypt, Libya, and Canaan. Verse 7. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, right? And Sabta, and Ramah, and Sabteca, and the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. So, this is the Havilah that everyone references when the children of Israel come out of Egypt, right? Why? Because they can use this location as a marker point to deceive everyone. Now, where is Havilah? Gotta take you right back there. And mind you, if you guys Google, there's some maps that actually show you, all right, 2 Havilahs, 2 of them, all right. Oh, we can't use that. We're gonna use that one next. That's the Eden one. There's some maps that show 2 Havilahs on the map because it's 2 different people. That's called Havilah. That's what the confusion is, you guys. Here we go. Let's see. Is this the one? I don't know if, I'm just going to go to Havilah because I want to just show right quick. Right? Let me show you right quick. That, when I'm telling you guys, we're doing a lot when we're doing this studying because if you go with the Bible, you can't be confused. You can't take extra biblical texts or outside sources and try to line up with the Bible. You got to read the Bible and then line up the Bible with what's going on, right? Now, we're going to get Havilah. Look what it says, all right? Look what it says about Havilah. You got more than one definition. It says, son of Cush, we just read that, and grandson of Ham. Genesis chapter 10, we just read verse 7, and 1 Chronicles 1 and 9. His name is probably related to the geographical area discussed in number 3 below. We're going to discuss that. But guess what we got? Number 2 definition. Son of Joktan. Grandson of Eber. What? And descendant of Shem. Genesis 10 and 29. 1 Chronicles 1 and 23. His name is probably related to the geographical area discussed in number 3 below. Right? So, this is a big thing. This is a big thing. Why is it the location of the son of Joktan being considered when it comes to our exodus out of Egypt? Because that's going to tell you the truth. That's why. Let's read it right quick. Genesis 10 and 29. And it's going to tell you something else with it. Genesis 10 and 29. It says, and Ophir and Havilah and Jobab, all these were the sons of Joktan. Now look what it says in verse 30. And their dwelling was from Mesha as thou goest into Sephar, a mount of the east. You know the children of the east? Ishmaelites, sons of Keturah from Abraham, Median, right? These are Shemitic people. So it should tell you this Havilah can't be in Ham's land. The Havilah that is the grandson of Ham is in Ham's land inheritance, which will be modern day modern day Somalia and Djibouti. Right? That's where that Havilah is, where there is gold. That talks about in Genesis chapter 2, talking about the Garden of Eden, that the river Pison encompasses. Then you got Havilah that's in the east, right? Which is on the northwest coast of Yemen and the west coast of Saudi Arabia. That's where your Havilah is from the Havilah son of Joktan. According to his land inheritance, that's where you're supposed to be able to declare our exodus out of Egypt, where Saul, who dwelt just south of their brethren, the Edomites. Let's get that. And then we'll come right back to Havilah, right? This stuff is right here for us if we study short of rules, if we rightly divide the word of truth, right? This, Genesis 36, right? And 1. 36 and 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. Let's get Genesis 32. And verse 3. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. right? So understand that whole Mount Seir mountain range, that's all the country of Edom. This is why our forefathers were so mad when Edom wouldn't let us cross through the land, because we had to go all the way around the Seir Mountains. We're going to show you how far they go, and go all the way around and compass that whole land of Edom, right? Let's get back. Genesis 36 and verse 12. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz. Timnah is what? A Horite. Horite is what? Descendant of Seir, who the mountains are named after. Mount Seir, right? And it says Timnah, Genesis 36 and 12. And Timnah was in concubine to Eliphaz. Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to him, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. So, you got in Mount Seir, you got Horites there. What happened? Right quick before I break it down. What happened? Deuteronomy. Right? Moses giving a repetition of what happened. Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 8. And when we passed by our brethren, the children of Esau, when Esau said, no, we can't pass your land, which dwelt in Seir, through the way of the plain, from Elath, which is modern day Eliat, and from Ezion Gaber, which is modern day Aqaba, we turned and passed by the way of the wilderness of Moab. This is not the wilderness. This is the wilderness of Moab. Now, what we just read to you was showing you that Esau, that dwelt in Seir, they had to go all the way down to Eliath and Ezion Gaber, aka Eliat and Aqaba, to compass the land of the Edomites, because their land went all the way down that way. That's why they had to go all the way down that way. They didn't go down little and cut through. They had to go all the way back down to the Red Sea. Y'all understand this, right? And so he said, the Most High, so when this happened, this shows you, right? Now let's jump down to verse 12. The Horims, which is another word for the Horites, also dwelt in Seir before time, but the children of Esau succeeded them when they had destroyed them from before them and dwelt in their stead. They dwelt in Mount Seir as Israel did unto the land of his possession when the Most High gave unto them. So just like we blotted out, the Amorites that were in the land of Moab that they had conquered, Esau did that to the Horites, right? And so this is showing you how they got there, and that their dwelling was in the Mount Seir Mountains all the way down to the Red Sea. Now let's get that scripture before we go forward. 1 Kings chapter 9, right? 1 Kings chapter 9 and verse 26. And King Solomon made a navy of ships in Ezion Gaber, which is Aqaba, which is beside Elath, with its modern day Eliat, on the shore of the Red Sea in the land of Edom. You see that? So this tells you the land of Edom run all the way down to the Red Sea. Now the northern part of it goes all the way to what? To the Brook Zered. You understand? So 38 years, right? When we're in Kadesh Barnea, we are right next to the Edomites. Right there. Sometimes we were in their land. Now, where is Edom at, you guys? Where is Moab and Ammon? All three of them, where are they at? They're in modern day Jordan. They're on the east of the Jordan. They're not in Israel. All right? They're in Jordan. So this should begin to tell you the wilderness it got to be in Jordan. It can't be in, because he brought us out of there, and it can't be in Israel because he said you had not yet entered into the rest and inheritance that I gave your fathers. So it's only other place it can be. In this region, that's Jordan, right? Now, as we mark that. So when we looking at where Solomon fought with the Amalekites from Shur to Havilah, right? Let's get the map back for you guys, so you can see. Let's get that map back up, right? Matter of fact, no. Let's read now the third reference when it defines Havilah. This is what it says. Mind you, the first one was Cush, Havilah son of Cush, and then the second was Havilah son of Joktan, which Joktan has a inheritance in Shem's land. Now, mind you, you can't rock with Blue Letter, because if you go on Blue Letter and you look up both of these names, Havilah is going to have the same Hebrew word. How? When they're both two different people. This is why you can't rock with Blue Letter. You guys are going to go on it, you're going to see for yourself. You can't do that, right? Now we're gonna read verse 3. Number 3. A land described as being bound by one of the 4 rivers of the Garden of Eden. This is talking about Genesis 2. The Pison, and as being rich in gold, resin, and onyx stone. Now we know the according to the Bible, Sheba and Reba are the Hamite nations who have gold. All right, and so those descendants, knowing that Ham's land has gold, that's who we gotta identify that Havilah with, because we do that by scripture. The region, or perhaps a different place bearing the same name, is mentioned with Shur. Now I was trying to tell you the truth. Probably in North Sinai. See, I was giving this iffy type bring out because they don't want you to know, but he's telling you the truth. As one of the limits of the territory of the Amalekites. You see that? And Saul is said to have defeated the Amalekites in this area. Saul didn't go down into Ham's land. Mind you, if this is the Havilah on modern day Djibouti and Somalia, right on the shores of the inward country of Kush, Ethiopians, Saul didn't go down into Africa fighting these dudes. Y'all understand? He went right there on the part where we know today as Saudi Arabia, and on the west coast of Saudi Arabia and the northwestern part of Yemen. That's where he went, y'all. Understand? You can switch when you want to switch. Hold on. Right? And so, let's read a little more. Right? It says, the region, or perhaps a different place bearing the same name, is mentioned with Shur, probably in North Sinai, the northern part of Sinai, right? As one of the limits of the territory of the Amalekites. And Saul is said to have defeated the Amalekites in this area, though it is widely thought that Havilah here is a textual corruption. See how they're doing all this deception at you? They don't want you to know that's the right spot. The location of Havilah is disputed. Many scholars connect the name with Arabic Holan, which refers both to an area in southwest Arabia. You know that? Southwest Arabia. Sounds like the western coast, the southern western coast of Arabia. This is what you're going to see if you ever Google Havilah. You're going to see a title, Havilah, there with all the descendants. Google the land inheritance of the sons of Shem, and you'll see Havilah right there, down there by Yemen, down there in Saudi Arabia, right? And it says, many scholars connect the name with Arabic Havilah, which refers both to an area in southwest Arabia, Yemen, and to, it says Yemen, I didn't say that, and to an ancient tribal federation that still lives there. Some have even suggested that the individuals mentioned in 1 and 2 above represent 2 branches of the same Arabian tribe. No, because we already read who comes from Cush. Havilah comes from Cush. He's not Arab. You see how they're trying to trick you over and over and over? Others prefer to locate Havilah in West or Northwest Arabia, which that's not, unlikely either, right? So we got Havilah. And the reason we're bringing that out is to show that the Amalekites, right? The Amalekites stay right under their brethren Esau, right? And so when we crossed the Red Sea, what happened? What happened, you guys? You know what happened right away when we crossed it. Let's read it. This is Exodus. Exodus chapter 17, and let's see. That's 17 verse 8. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said unto Joshua, choose us out of men and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of the Most High in my hand. So they end up fighting. Now mind you, let's get down to where he's at, right? Hold on. Okay, all right. Let me get it right now. 32. All right, so as soon as we come out, they're fighting us. Now, if Amalek, as it's being taught, is really in the Negev, that's not making sense. Because if we cross over in the way of Havilah, they're in the same places. They're in the same place where Saul went and fought him at. You understand? Havilah. It's Shalom, shalom, family. Havilah is in the same place where we cross over. I got to get the map. You're in the same place, you guys. That doesn't make any sense for us to cross over at the proper location, right? And not run into them. They're the first people to run into it because now we're running right into their land. All right, let's see. No, not yet. We got to get a different one. We got to get a different one. Let's see. This one right here. No, not that one. I went through here and got something. Here we go. Here we go. Look at this, you guys. All right? Look at this. So, this is the Red Sea comes this way and that way. Reed Sea, Gulf of Aqaba. Remember Ezion-Gaber, where Saul smoked the Amalekites? I mean, where Solomon made a navy of ships from Esau, right? Look at this wrinkle is the Seir Mountains all the way up, right? All the way down. This is Moab's land. This is Edom right here. This is Petra. This is where we at. Over here, incorrect. See Beersheba right there? So when Hagar left Beersheba, she came down right here. This is Shur, right here. In between the Negev right here and the Seir Mountains. This is all of that right here. Wadi Arba, Valley Arba. This is Arba right here. All right. This is where we was at, right? When we first came into the desert for 6 months, we stayed down here, right? Right here, parallel with picture, right down there, right? It had billions of dreams. Has 5, 6 dreams like every day. It was dreams, right? Now, when we cross over, we come down and we cross over down here. This is where the Amalekites were dwelling. Median was up a little bit more right here. The Amalekites were right here. No, Median was down here. The Amalekites are right here because they're right below their brother Edom right here. This is where we fought them right there, you guys. Right there. Right? Right there. Across the Red Sea, bam. Ezion-Gaber right there. Right? And then we came up between here. This desert of Paran is not here. It's right here, you guys. This desert of Zin is not there. It's right here. All right? So, I'm going to tell y'all something else. And this is from leaving over here. There, and y'all can look this up yourself. Over here, the borders aren't that policed like that. I'm talking about the whole region. I'm not talking about Georgia. I'm going to give you an example. There is a population in Iraq, northern Iraq, where it's called Iraqi Kurds, short for Kurdistan, right? You know, they have their own country neighboring to the north, but some of them just want to live in Iraq, right on the border. They're not trying to rush all the way up into the country, but they're right on the border. That way they don't ruffle no feathers. That way nobody got a problem with them, and that's where they stay. And they've been a community there, and the Iraqis really don't trip on them. If y'all look this up, they live like right in the mountains on the border. Who wants to go police on that rugged terrain in the mountains? You guys got to leave our country. No, they let them stay there. So this is the same situation. When we came out of Egypt, we are a grand people without inheritance. We're living on the border between Canaan and Edom in a little desert. That's what we're doing. And we weren't supposed to be there that long, but our forefathers were disobedient. So we stayed there, 40 years, 38 of them, right, was in that little area, back and forth, moving around. Y'all understand? So, now, what that does to show you where Amalek is, where Havilah is, where Shur is, which is where we're going to go to now. Let's look at where the Amalekites were, right? Let's look at where they were at. And this is another false thing they tell people too. Mind you guys, the law was written by Moses. He wasn't there. So when he wrote it, he already had the locations of the people of the lands where it was at. And sometimes things are named what they are in the future time when it was being written for Genesis. I'm going to just show you right now. All right. Because some people trying to say it was Amalekites in the Abraham. No, it's not true. So this is Genesis chapter 13 and verse 5. No, 14 and verse 5. Right? These are when they had the 5 kings against 4, right? And in the 14th year came Chodorlamar and the kings that were with him and smote the Rephaims in Ashtoreth, Karnaim, and the Zizums in Ham, and the Imims in Sheveth, Kiriathim, and the Horites in their Mount Seir, unto El Paran, which is by the wilderness. You see that? See how we tie it together? Who lives in Mount Seir? The Edomites. That's the country of Edom. And it says, he smote the Horites who also lived in Mount Seir, right? Where? Unto El Paran, which is the wilderness of Paran, which is by the wilderness, right? So, when you got, and it's talking about which is by the wilderness, it's talking about Mount Seir. Mount Seir is by the wilderness of Paran. That's what it's talking about. It's not saying Paran is by the wilderness. It's saying Mount Seir is by the wilderness. And so, verse 7, and they returned and came to En Mishpat, which is Kadesh. So now it's showing you Kadesh is right by Paran. See this? Which is by Mount Seir. You see this? And smote all the country of the Amalekites and also the Amorites that dwelt in Hazaron Tamar. You see all this information that's showing you the Amalekites are in close proximity to Kadesh, to their brothers in Edom that are in Mount Seir. That's also next to the wilderness of Paran, which is that valley between Mount Seir and the Negev, and the Horites that were there previously, which we went over that history, right? So mind you, what can I use all this together? All this information. Let's get a little bit more before we tie it all together, you guys. Right? This is you know what? Yeah, that's what I want to read. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. Look at what it says in Deuteronomy, you guys. Deuteronomy 33. Verse 1. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of the Most High, blessed the children of Israel before his death. Verse 2. And he said, the Most High came from Sinai. He's not lying, right? He came from Sinai. He came from the Mount Sinai, the thorny place, right? And rose up from Seir, right? Unto them he shined forth from Mount Paran. This will give you 3 locations. It's all the same place, you guys. It's and he said, Deuteronomy 33 and 2 again. And he said, the Most High came from Sinai and rose up from Seir. Unto them he shined forth from Mount Paran. And he came with 10,000 saints from his right hand. That's a Mashiach, Psalms 8 and 17, went a fiery law for them. You see that? So when you locate in Seir, you know that's Edom. You know Edom is not in Israel. Edom got their own land. Edom had to leave from his brother, right? And he chose to go dwell in Mount Seir, which is not in Israel. We're reading that the mountain, which is in the wilderness that our forefathers camped at, is in Seir, right? We'll read it one more time, then we'll get a second precept, right? Deuteronomy 33 and 2. And he said, the Most High came from Sinai and rose from Seir. To them, he shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000 of saints. From his right hand went a fiery law for them. That's when he gave law, statutes, and commandments. Let's get Judges. Say it again. All right? Judges chapter 5 and verse 4. Ahiah, when thou went out of Seir. When did Ahiah go out of Seir? We just read. When thou marchest out of the field of Edom, the earth trembled, and the heavens dropped, and the clouds also dropped water. It rained. And then it rained. He came down in fire, and the earthquake, and the trumpet sounded loud, right? Verse 5. The mountains melted from before the Most High, even that Sinai from before the Most High, power of Israel. Y'all seeing this stuff? Easy, man, right? So if the mountain is in Seir Mountains, and the Seir Mountains is in Jordan, then that means the wilderness is in Jordan, right? The wilderness is in Jordan. It's that simple. If you don't know, all you gotta do is Google Black Mountains of Jordan, and you're gonna see a region on Google that show a whole bunch of burnt mountains. Okay, because Mount Sinai is there. Right over this mountain right here. It's right here. All right. What are you gonna see? Let's show how far. We already showed that Edom, whose country is Mount Seir, goes all the way to the Red Sea. We showed you that twice. Let's show you now the northern part. Let's just show you that the wilderness, how far north it goes, right? So you can decide where you want to be. You know, if you're at least in the wilderness, at least be in the scriptural wilderness. Don't just be in Jordan, you guys. You got to be in wilderness. This is Joshua chapter 20 and verse 8. And this is giving you the borders. Let's just read in verse 7. This is giving you the cities of refuge. This is Joshua chapter 20 and verse 7. And they appointed Kadesh in Galilee, and Mount Naphtali, and Shechem, and Mount Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba, which is Hebron, and the mountain of Judah. Verse 8. And on the other side, Jordan, by Jericho eastward, they assigned Bezer in the wilderness, right? Upon the plain out of the tribe of Reuben. You can get this understanding even more with the bring out on Esther, because this shows you Bezer is in Reuben's territory, and the territory that Reuben had was what? From River Arnon to the River Jabbok. All right? Let's show you that too. So you can know, where you got to be. Where you got to be, what's close enough, what's not close enough, right? Now let's probably get that map and eat them. Let's probably get that one out. That'll probably be a good time. Okay, to bring this map out. Here we go. Yep. Now look at this. Look at this. All right. Again, this is the wilderness we're at. This is the mountains that we were going to. Right? This is the brooks of red. Between Canaan, Edom, and Moab. This is the wilderness. All this right here. Right? And these mountains coming up here. All the way up. This is the river Arnon. You see how you got Moab between Arnon and Zered? This right here is Reubenite territory. You got the river Jabbok coming up right there, and they'll branch over. Right? Now, these next to Medeba. It's parallel with Medeba. Right here. So the wilderness is up to like right here, all the way down here to the Red Sea. You see the King's Highway? Right here? King's Highway coming all the way up. See Mount Seir. You see Petra? Right? And we're going to bring out what Petra is real quick. Y'all should get it now. You see all this Arabian desert. All this Arabia. Right? This is the Gulf of Aqaba. Right here. Mount Aqaba right there. Mount Eliot right there. Crossed over, bam. Crossed over, fought the Amalekites here, and start coming up, bam, this way, coming up. All right? Now, let's see. I'm gonna get another, go some more. All right? See the guy Kadesh Barney way over here? Throwing you off. You see that? Throwing you off. This is the same wilderness right here. All that in there. All right? Now let's show right quick. The town over here in town, it's called Wadi Musa, Valley of Moses. Why? Was Moses over here? Is it possible? Yeah. All right. Let's get the kings. Matter of fact, let's get it out of here. All right, we're gonna show you Petra in here. Let's get Petra out of here. Let's get Petra out the zone. All right. And then we'll go into the Bible and get it. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, here we go. This is defining Petra. Ancient capital of the Nabateans, right? These are Arabic people. Arabs on the east edge of the Araba Rift. So, I showed y'all the map. We're going to keep this thing, we're going to keep it Kodesh, right? It says, right here, on the east edge of the Araba. So let's go back to the map so you can see what the east edge of the Araba is, right? There goes the Araba right there. You see Petra right there? So on the east edge of that Araba, which is the wilderness, that's where Petra is. This is where we at, and Petra's in modern day Jordan, right? It says, on the east of the Araba Rift, some 50 miles, southeast of the Dead Sea, right? Petra is not mentioned in the Bible, but it has commonly been identified with Salah. Nope, that's not it, because Salah is up northern. A major fortified city in Edom. According to Josephus, which we're going to read in a second, Arabians, which are the Nabateans I just told you, regarded it as their metropolis and called it Arxi. A lady here told me it's called Akim, right? That's what they said. After the name of one of their kings, but the Greeks renamed it Petra. So this is Josephus right here. We're going to read to you right here that's what it is. It says the ruins of Petra were discovered in 1812. Their settling is impressive, reaching by descending Wadi Musa, which is a town right there next to Petra, and passing through a significant gorge. Now, let's read it. Let's read it inside of the Josephus now. Let's read it. We brought this out before. All right, here we go. This is Antiquity of the Jews. Book 4, chapter 7, and looks like we're halfway through verse 1. It says, when they would come down, they had joined battle with them. An immense number of Midianites fell, nor could they be numbered. They were so very many, and among them fell all their kings, 5 in number: Evi, Zur, Reba, Hur, and Rechem, who was of the same name in a city, the chief and capital of all Arabia, which is still now so called by the whole Arabian nation, Arsim, right? From the name of the king that built it, but is by the Greeks called Petra. You see that? So, wherever Moses fought these dudes, we're going to read it right there. Numbers 31 and 8. Why do we have to know that? Because it tells you that the wilderness is over here. If Moses fought with these dudes, and that place is over here and got renamed Petra, then I tell you, the wilderness is in Jordan. It have to be in Jordan. So let's get Numbers 31. And let's read it. All right, Numbers 31 and verse 7. And they warred against the Midianites, as we just read, as the Most High commanded Moses, and they slew all the males, and they slew the kings of Midian, besides the rest of them that were slain, namely Evi and Rechem and Zur and Hur and Reba, 5 kings of Midian. Balaam, also the son of Beor, they slew with the sword. You see that? So when this happened in a place called Achim, and it was renamed Petra. So you can't say, in addition to the town right next to us is Wadi Musa, Valley of Moses, that Moses wasn't right here and the children of Israel weren't right here. But guess what? There's still more. Let's get just a little more, right? Let's get just a little bit more, right? This is Numbers chapter 33 and verse 37. I'll start at verse 36. And they removed from Ezion Gabber and pitched in the wilderness of Zin, which is Kadesh, right? Kadesh Barnea. Verse 37. See how they don't put the whole Kadesh? It's Kadesh. Verse 37. And they removed from Kadesh and pitched in Mount Hor in the edge of the land of Edom. Not by the edge, in the edge of the land. So they're in Edom at one point. You see this? That's how close the wilderness is to Edom. It's right there, right? And what happened? Verse 38. And Aaron the priest went up into Mount Hor at the commandment of the Most High and died there in the 40th year after the children of Israel come out of the land of Egypt in the first day of the 5th month. Mount Hor's right here. It's right there. It's right there, you guys. Verse 39. Aaron was 123 years old when he died in Mount Hor. Mount Hor's right here, you guys. Right there. How Mount Hor, which all the Arabs, they know this, and they reference, right? And they hold in esteem. They didn't switch it up. They didn't hide nothing. It's a plaque. You can read it if you go up and hike it. That was one of the hikes that me and my daughters did when we got here, right? There's a picture on my Facebook page when we got to the top of the mount. That's where we up there on Mount Hor, right? Where Aaron's tomb is. And that's in Jordan, you guys. I'll tell you guys something right quick. If you think for a moment, and y'all know I've been wanting and hoping to find this extra biblical text for years now about those that go into the land not according to the chronology of the scripture, meaning not getting the new covenant put down in your heart, you're gonna face your demise there. Okay, you have to come to the wilderness first to get the new covenant in your heart, man. Let me read that because that's what all this is we was going through for, right? If you're there, I guarantee you, you're not going to endure it. The people that get put out of the land, they're going to deal with you before they leave. They're not going to leave you there, knowing you the real people. They know we the real people, y'all. They're not going to leave you there. Oh, we leaving with y'all. Y'all got it now. Nah, they're gonna do y'all. Man, I'ma pray. The Most High let me find it. I went on the bench and I looked for it. I couldn't find it. I read through so many extra biblical texts. I couldn't find it, y'all. Right? This is Hosea 2:14. Therefore, behold, I will allure her is Israel, and bring her into the wilderness. It's in Jordan, you guys. It's not in Egypt. It's not in Israel. And speak comfortably unto her. And I will give her vineyards from there. So you got to come to the wilderness, and you're going to get your vineyards from the wilderness. You don't get to skip coming to the wilderness and get the vineyard anyway. That would mean the Most High lying right here. He said, I'm going to do it like this. I will give her, Israel, her vineyards from thence, and the valley of Achor for a door of hope. You got to come to the wilderness, and then you're going to get the valley of Achor for a door of hope. And she shall sing there, as in the days of her youth, as in the day when she came up out of the land of Egypt. That's how it goes. What else is saying? It shall be at that day, saith the Most High, that thou shalt call me Ishi, which is husband, and shall call me no more Baali. When all these false names, everybody calling other than Higher Shor Higher, you're going to get that out the way and let you call him as the proper name, right? Verse 17, for I will take away the names of Baalim out of her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by that name. Let's see verse 18. And in that day, I will make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field and the fowls of heaven and with the creeping things of the ground. I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth and will make them to lie down safely. How are you gonna miss the covenant, you guys? Okay, they're gonna be a covenant with the animals, man. They're gonna start talking to us again. All right, you're reading Jubilees. Most High closed the mouth, right, of all the animals. They used to talk. Adam used to be able to communicate with them, right? Ain't no just hollering and screaming at the animals. You're gonna tell them, hey, y'all go eat over there, and I want you to come back before the sun get down and go in here and sit down. Right? The animals not gonna attack you no more, right? Animals are gonna be at league with us. They're gonna have a covenant with us, right? You're gonna miss all that. What else you gonna miss out on? All right, let's get Ezekiel chapter 20. Because this is where we're going to get what? The law, statutes, and commandments put in our inward parts. Ezekiel 20. We just drop down, man. We drop down to verse 35. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. I'm going to judge you face to face. Like, comparison, as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Most High, and I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. That's where you're going to get the new covenant, you guys. He said, I'm going to plead with you face to face. Only time that happened, we was in a certain place in the wilderness. It's not good enough. It's better than nothing to be in the wilderness, but there's a certain place in the wilderness you're supposed to be. It's a certain place. If you're not below Bezer, which is like close to Medeba in modern day Jordan, you're not in the wilderness. You're not there. Jordan is not the safe place. Jordan is not the wilderness. A certain area of Jordan is the wilderness. A certain area of Jordan is where we're supposed to be gathered to. Not anywhere. Y'all understand? This is for those that are here and those that are all throughout the four corners of the earth that are being allured to come here, right? It's not anywhere. What did the Most High speak to our forefathers face to face so he could speak to us like he spoke to our forefathers face to face? Where was we at when that happened? All right, Deuteronomy chapter 5, start at 2. And the Most High, our power, made a covenant with us in Horeb. So he's going to make a new covenant with us in the same place he made the old covenant, at Horeb. The Most High made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us who are all of us here alive this day. Verse 4. And the Most High talked with you face to face in the mount out of the midst of fire. Read that again. Deuteronomy 5 and 4. And the Most High talked with you face to face in the mount out of the midst of the fire. I stood between the Most High and you at that time to show you the word of the Most High, for you were afraid by reason of the fire and went not up into the mount, saying. So this is when it was like we ran away from the mountain, right? Oh man, we don't want Exodus 20. We don't want him to talk to me. You go talk to him, Moses, and you tell him what he said. You come out and tell us what we're gonna do. Right? So if he wants to give us the new covenant, he wants to finish talking to us, we have to come back to the original place, the original land, which is in Kadesh Barnea, right? Which is in the wilderness, which is in Jordan. If you got a reason, right? Maybe some things happen here. Well, we know things happen here, right? We know things happen here, but is that supposed to be trumping the word? Is your faith, is it little, right? Is that going to change what Moses said? All right? Maybe dudes was doing something they wasn't supposed to do. If they was, it shouldn't have been a problem, right? We can't take the carnal, right, and change up what the Most High said and move a different way. That ain't what he said do. Y'all understand this, man? I want to read a little bit more on Ezekiel just to make sure you see, right? If the mountain, this is what's being said, y'all. This is the stuff, this is the material, the stuff I get, man, dealing with, social media, and just, different platforms, right? This is Ezekiel, man. 20. Listen to what this says. Ezekiel 20 and verse 38. And I will purge out from among you the rebels. Some of this stuff is happening right now, you guys. And them that transgress against me, them that don't keep my laws. And I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel. If you're already in the wilderness at the mountain, he's talking to you face to face and putting the covenant in your heart and putting you under the rod. But he says after that, you're not going to come to the land of Israel. That means you're not in Israel when you're at the mountain, when you're doing all this, when you're in the wilderness. You can't be in Israel because he says you're not going to get into Israel. Right? So the wilderness can't already be in Israel. If he's telling you right here, when I bring you to the wilderness, you're not, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel if you're already there. Do y'all see how easy this stuff is? Right? Verse 39, as for you, O house of Israel, thus said, serve ye every one of his idols, and hereafter also, if ye will not hearken unto me, but pollute ye my Kodash name no more with your gifts and with your idols. Don't be double-minded. Don't be trying to do your own thing. Don't be trying to please your flesh and be here in the wilderness. It's a mindset as well as a physical dwelling to be in the wilderness. I pray you guys. Most High put his steward out here, and I'm thankful because now I know where it's at, but I know how you're supposed to walk down here. It's no games. It's no games, man. All right? It ain't no games down here. Verse 40. For in mine Kodash mountain, in the mountain of the height of Israel. The Kodash mountain here is in Israel because we're just coming here to get the new covenant. Then we're going to Jerusalem. We're going to go to Mount Zion. So this is not talking about Mount Sinai. Is it one of his favorite places on earth? Yes, it is. But is it ever spoken of as his Kodash mountain, where his house is at? No. 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 That's only in Zion. Right? For my Kodash mountain in the mount of a height of Israel, said the Most High Power, there shall all the house of Israel, all of them in the land, serve me. There will I accept them, and there will I receive your offerings and the first fruits of your oblations with all your Kodash things. That's how you be under the rod. Verse 21, and I will accept you with your sweet savor when I bring you out from the people and gather you out of the countries wherein ye have been scattered, and I will be sanctified in you before the heathen. They're going to see. He doesn't want to do it as a secret thing. He wanted all the nations to see, I've always loved them. Yep, I'm bringing them back. Yep, I'll bless them. Yeah, your reign is over. That's what he's going to do in front of everybody, right? Verse 42, and ye shall know that I am the Most High when I shall bring you into the land of Israel, into the country for which I lift up my hand, bless you, Father, to give it to your fathers. That's the inheritance that we have not entered yet into, right? After the wilderness, that's when you're going to get to go in there, if it be the will of the Most High. That's why we here, all right? Verse 44, and ye shall know that I am the Most High when I wrought with you for my name's sake, not according to your wicked ways, nor according to your corrupt doings, O ye house of Israel, said the higher power. Understand, y'all. I'm not down here because I want to be over righteous, because I want to be separate, I don't want to be bothered with nobody. I'm right here because the words say that Yahshua is going to be a Lord here and to come to dwell here. That's the only reason I'm right here. That's the only reason I left Babylon. Because he said, leave, come out of her. Right? Be not partaker of her sins, receive over her plagues. And when I come to Jordan, I've been down here, saved 1 month when I brought my daughters. and can't been down here the whole time, right? This is my habitation. I've been in the desert, the wilderness, 3 of those years. All right, probably save 1 month, 3 years, right? And so this is why I'm here. I'm not trying to keep nobody unto myself. Hamashiach's not coming to the desert. All right, so let's make that clear. I ain't never said Hamashiach's coming to the desert. I'm never expecting to see a Mashiach down here because it doesn't say he's going to come here. Right now, I'm expecting to see Big Michael. I'm expecting to see him, the archangel. Right, but I'm not expecting to see Hamashiach. He's coming to Zion to save his people that are going to be found dwelling within his walls. That's where he's at. That's where he's going to go, right? So, understand, I'm here because the word say, you ain't got to follow me. Follow the Most High. Follow his word. His word going to tell you come here. If you got to be on the other side of the desert, on the other side of the mountain, cool. You don't want to be by me. That's cool. As long as you where Haya told you to come, you got to come here, all right? If you don't, then, I don't know what to prophesy over you because it doesn't prophesy about people who don't come to the wilderness. It tells you what's going to happen to those who come to the wilderness, which is in Jordan, man. I pray I got the revelation. I pray I did go to the Most High, good enough job to show y'all and give y'all understanding. And I pray that you guys make it down here, whether you're here in Jordan or you're in the four corners of the earth being gathered. And it's a lot going on, as y'all can see. The window is closing. It seemed like by the day, new measures are being forced upon people. We got to choose the Most High and walk by faith. Don't hope and look at what's in your hand or in your arm. You got to trust in the Most High. He's able to do the impossible, you guys. We don't have much time. I don't know. That's another thing. I don't know what time frame we think, but Mashiach warned us, and he said, watch and pray, and you should be able to see stuff that he said happening a year ago. You can see that stuff, but you're seeing stuff happening even quicker now, right? So I pray y'all got the understanding, pray y'all got the revelation. If it's something that I might have left out, or y'all got any questions about anything on this video, y'all leave it in the comments. I'm going to answer you for sure. I'm not sure right now how much longer then I'm going to have this service going. Because I told y'all what happened, with the lady that, the Most High, that passed. And so I'm just want to get this out to y'all. Make sure you got an understanding, you know what I'm saying? But move by faith, walk by faith, not by sight. Thank y'all for all your prayers. I'm going to continue to pray for y'all as I always do. Let your prayer be fervent. Let it be effectual, right? Let it be with all your heart, mind, strength. Love the Most High with all your heart, mind, strength, y'all. That's the commandment. Not just love him. Love him with all that you got. There's this little Barakatah Haya, man. He want more than that, bro. He want intimacy, man. He want quiet time, man. He wants you to give him your best time, not your last part of your day when you're bored, when you're tired. He wants your peak times. He wants your peak attention, all right? Give it to him, you guys, while you have that breath in your body. And let him know that he's number one, right? Let him know that he's number one, right? With that, I'm going to say all praise to the Most Mighty, Ahaya, Shohaya, Bashimi Shai. Again, if y'all got any questions, man, put them in the comments, and I will give you a revelation, according to the Spirit. And, let it be quick, y'all. Like I said, I don't know how it's going to go, but Most High will. I'll still be able to come before y'all. Love y'all. Most High bless y'all. Call goodbye, call Yada, Kotai, Pyroth, Waha'ala, Laka, Hayashua, Hayab, Hashimi Shai, Kwam Yashala. Shalom, family.